My name's Amelina.
My name is John.
And I am neurodivergent. I'm dyslexic. Dyslexia is a learning disability that primarily impacts reading and writing skills. The thing about dyslexia, or any other disorder that you're born with, is that you know nothing different. Letters seemingly rearranging themselves on the page is my normal, and growing up I didn't understand why reading felt so much harder for me.
I have anxiety tics. Anxiety tics is a form of response of being stressed. It comes in the form of tics where it is an uncontrolled movement. My anxiety tics come in a form where I move my head around and sometimes make a sound. Just like I state that there's a difference between anxiety tics and Tourette's. Tourette's is something you are born with. You can't just remove it. Most tics don't last a lifetime, but it can last a few years.
I spent the entirety of early primary school on the lowest reading level in the class and often got the lowest marks for writing. When I was asked questions verbally, I was far more able to give coherent answers, which led many of my teachers to chalk up my difficulty with reading and writing to laziness. Ironically, this is actually the classic signs of dyslexia. For me, this felt incredibly frustrating, as there were times I felt I was working harder than anyone else but still not improving, and was insistently being told it was because I was not trying hard enough. I can still picture the hours spent crying at the dining table, desperately trying to do spelling words.
After a traumatic event that occurred, I realized I have developed tics. I was unsure of what this was, and I was recommended to go to the medical center and where I was appointed to a psychologist. When I first found out about my anxiety tics, I panicked. I was unsure what was happening, and I was scared. It put me in constant discomfort, physically and mentally. It felt like I was being constantly judged because of my tics, and sometimes it will feel like I'm faking my tics even though I wasn't faking my tics.
As I moved into Key Stage 2, my strength in other areas masked my dyslexia, bar still having poor spelling. The misconception that she's smart, she can't have a learning disability, is something that continues to follow me around, and is a large part of the reason my dyslexia went undiagnosed for so long. The opposite is also true, with people telling me, "Oh, I thought you were smart," when I mentioned my dyslexia. But having a learning disability and intelligence are not mutually exclusive, nor does being smart make up for having a disability.
Sharing about my tics have often made me uncomfortable. Nonetheless, one of these steps I had to take to be more accepting of my tics was to inevitably tell my parents. However, neurodiversity being such a contemporary topic, my parents being similar to most parents were not so well versed in this. Being afraid of how my parents would react to the unknown, I calculated them. Despite my best efforts, anxiety tics of course had to be visible. My parents had never heard of anxiety tics in their life, and they had to rely on their own traditional and cultural beliefs, as that was what they had always depended on. They attempted to rid me of my disease, where one of these attempts were making me drink holy water every day. These tics was very tiring to my brain and body. Their attempts to stop this thing was therefore saying, "I want the best of you." Needless to say, I still have my tics, and they are a part of who I am. Yeah.
Disabilities are not inabilities.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ate the sharks to in the shed.
Just I expect this to be the bloopers.